My name is Paul and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today's ramble, we're working on the Letourneau Scraper's ejector gearbox. So this is a continuation of last episode. So we're going to take this gear off of this shaft, and there's a whole series of these splined nuts along with these specialty splined driving sockets or wrenches or whatever you want to call them. Anyways, they have a little keeper here, a little keeper set screw, so I'll undo that, and then hopefully I can spin this loose, and then this gear can come off of this shaft. I got it up on this pipe just to give me some clearance. Today we're going to pull all the bearings and get the bearings ordered and get the seals ordered, and then start cleaning up the faces of all these gears and this case itself. So should be pretty good. Hasn't moved. I'll have to get a back or somehow. Okay, I got a chain vice grip on here. I don't want to get too aggressive and damage the shaft, but so we got a chain vice grip on here, and we'll see if we can. I'm hoping it's right hand threads. We'll kind of find out here in a second. I might need a little bit bigger hammer, but we'll give it a shot. Look at that. Like the day it was put in there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So all of this needs to be in really good shape. We'll buff these gears. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to buff them with, but I mean, there's going to be material missing because of the corrosion, but that'll be the 80-90s job. That'll be the oil's job to make up for that. Alright, so I just whipped up a couple of little makeshift bearing pullers. Just had an old punch, and I just put a bend in it with the torch, and then I had an old chunk of or I had an old puller that I just welded onto this little makeshift slide hammer. Let's see if we can get this one to come out. So I just start with the littlest one. And just kind of, so you can see that. kind of down and kind of back. And then I go to the other side. And then just keep working it down in there. Look at that. Maybe Santa will bring me a set of pullers. So hopefully what do we got here? Oh, look at that. There it is right there. Rollway 5206B. Made in America. Okay, well, there's one more, and conveniently, it has access holes to drive this and the seal out. So hopefully we can, you can see that, hopefully we can just tap that guy out and okay, so we'll just try to let's see what's happening here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Let's try from this side and watch the action. Look at that. The bearing is loose. No. Well, there we go, yep. So, oh perfect, look at that. It's even a CR number. Look at it, how close we were. This was on the rusty side, and this was luckily up. So this one's a 12530 CR, so 12530 CR. And this guy, he's on the outside again. I need my, there we go. Oh boy. M5205 C Bauer. I don't know. I need to get my reading glasses out for this. I don't think I can hold it far enough away from my hold it far enough away. Anyways, there we go. We have all of the bearings and all of the seals. I haven't taken the seal out of the big flange one yet. Let's do that. Okay, that looks good. Okay, well, that looks good. Now I can go get these, hopefully. Okay, I wish I could say that it was only surface rust on these gears, but the mouse nest and the open gear case was not that kind. I don't know if you can see, but there is pitting. Now, that's just how it goes. I guess we're just gonna we're just gonna run it. Okay, a couple of things. Looks like whoever stamped this stamped it on a Monday or a Friday, because they stamped this number first and then must have made a mistake, and then they re-stamped it, and so they covered it up with a bunch of 8s. It's kind of neat. Anyway, so I've cleaned this all, buffed this, and that one's going to be good. I've started buffing and honing these gears. They're pretty rough, but I just kind of was thinking about it. So this is going to spin 3,600 RPM. This bearing surface is really clean. This gear surface seems fairly clean. This, of course, was stored inside. From here this way was all stored outside on the gear case, but of course the gear case being open. And I just did some quick math on how the gear reduction will end up, and it's been a while since I've done gear reductions, but I think it's pretty straightforward. This has 8 teeth, goes to 43. From 43, this shaft then goes to 8 teeth on this guy. That guy drives this 42. This 42 drives this 7, and then this 7 drives this 21. And so if I just do the math quickly, it looks like the output shaft, or the drum that the cable actually is on, this big fella here, it'll turn 42 RPMs. So as far as these being damaged from corrosion, I'm just going to rationalize and justify to myself that it's a pretty slow RPM by the time it gets here. Now this guy here, he's going to be taking the full 36, and he's fairly clean. I think he was higher up out of the gear case. It's this guy here that's got some big corrosion on it, and this guy right here. So these guys are, you know, I think this is 127 RPMs, this guy, and then down to 42 RPMs. Anyways, we're getting there, and we'll just have to let the corrosion go, and we'll just monitor it with oil and magnetic drain plugs. Okay, these bearings, they came sealed, but they're going to be oil bath in the gear case. So we'll just pop these seals out, and they can become oil bath. I might I might blow the grease out of these, but okay, we're on to the gear case. We're going to remove these plugs. There's actually 4 plugs. There's 2 magnetic plugs, and then there's two I guess level indicator and a vent plug. Now this just has a hole drilled into it. That probably doesn't help the corrosion factor either, but maybe we can get one of those at least covered vented caps for this guy. I made this, this is really a socket I made for some really long bolts on some duals, but it has a square drive, a 3/4 inch square drive, and it actually matches those. So we're going to put a little bit of this one was out of the moisture, so it's, but really it doesn't have a lot of iron filings in it or any heavy metallic. I mean, it's got a little bit, but for the most part I think this gear case was really clean, other than the mouse nest and the rust. I think before it came, or before it got separated, I think everything was in good condition. These guys are a different size, but again, this is just a square. This is just a stone from a tool cutter or a tool sharpener. I thought we would just plane it down a bit with this. This guy, however, let's do this. There we go. Now this is the sealing surface you can see here for the guy go on there. So as long as this perimeter is good. There's a few nicks and dents here that I brought down with the file, but it's really this internal kind of feel like the old wax on, wax off. But this is doing a really nice job. There's a bit of corrosion in here, but I think the leaking seal, I think this is where the corrosion was held in the case, but where the actual case comes together is right here. So it looks like that corrosion is outside or inside of the sealing face. You can kind of see this perimeter here, so that's a good sign. I think we'll just use a silicone based. I'm not going to make a gasket just because of how thin that other gasket was. It was literally like tissue paper thin. Okay. One of the benefits of living in a northern climate means you can freeze your bearings outside. Okay, I had these guys outside. It was minus, I think it was almost minus 30 Celsius last night. So we'll see if we can. That was easy. That was easy. 90% of bearing failure is installation. Okay, that's those ones. Now, okay, so we've got this warmed up with the torch. It's nice and warm. I got a they weren't that tight coming out, but with the cold, yeah, that one just pushed right in. This guy. This is an aluminum shaft I got. And there's one more. Well, that that went in nice. Okay, there's a seal that goes in here as well. I wonder if that's gonna warm up enough and be snug. Guy could put some Loctite. Red. Wonder if we have any left in here. The last of the last. I want some in there. Oh yeah, there we go. I think a little goes a long ways. I think we'll be all right. Okay. Now, let's just get that cleaned up. We don't want any Loctite in the bearing. Oh yeah, feels better already. Okay, here's a big seal. This is the seal that goes to the big shaft. That the actual cable drum goes right here, sitting, of course, horizontal. Yeah, it's an SKF 35716. So we'll see if we can get this guy to go in there. A little taparoo. We might have to put it in the press. We'll try. Chase it around. Upon closer inspection, there is, looks like a bit of damage where this must have got hit by something, and it has smeared this sealing lip in. And there's a couple other spots where it's hard to pick up on the camera, but this is dented in right there, just on this. The diameter is correct here, but it's pressed in here. And same with on this other, a couple other spots right here. And so I'm I'm going to push it in from the back side. This isn't as strong to push in from the back side, but I found this collar that is almost perfect diameter, and it goes inside of this. So I am going to just buff this one kind of damaged spot a little bit, just hone it a bit, and then we'll if I didn't have a guide or a bushing to push it against the whole way around, I think it would have just ended up crushing. Oh no, another hammer. It's okay. I think it'll be okay. I'm sure I'm going to hear about it now. Get a bigger hammer. Story of my life. This one's just so cute. Nobody saw a thing. Okay, so we just put a bit of clearance between this shoulder and the seal. And I think that looks pretty good. It's in there nice. It was a very stiff, very interference fit. If you look here, you can still see that there's a bit of deformation there, but it'll be fine. We'll call that a that's a keeper. That stops the seal from falling out. How's that? Okay, here's this big bearing. I think this big bearing has it looks like it's just dying to fall on the floor and spill all those bearings. I mean, they're caged, but I don't want to play that game. But I believe this provides a little bit, because there's two sets in there, and I believe this provides a bit of course, I forget the terminology, but it's going to provide a bit of thrust protection because of this, because of that double set of ball bearings in there. It's going to provide a bit of protection this way, as well as, of course, rotationally, but also some thrust as this, of course, goes forward and backward. It's going to push that shaft forward and backward. And of course, these guys have a little bit of thrust protection, but I think this guy takes the bulk of it, and I think that's why this was such an expensive bearing, is because it's, yeah, got, oh, don't do that. Oh, this would just clink, 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 clink. There'd be, you'd never find the last one. Oh, anyways, okay, we'll get the shaft, we'll get this together before it ends up on the floor. Okay, so I believe it goes like this. Oh, thank goodness. I had warmed this up in the furnace and had cooled this outside, and I wasn't sure how snug it was going to be. Now, carefully, I have to get this guy through here like this. Oh. I don't know if you can see this. There we go. So this it's still trying to fall apart. So this nut will, this nut right here will tighten this gear on those splines to the inner race against this shoulder right here. That'll lock the inner race. Then the outer race, I probably should get a bit of grease or something before I put the seal on. Then the outer race, of course, gets held by the outer race gets held by this guy. But I need to put some silicone, and I need to lubricate this seal just a little bit. This is the seal surface on this shaft here, but there is about that much play, and I don't want this to fall apart. Maybe it won't. I wonder if I can lie it down. Nope. I know, I had this before. There we go. Oh, it's not getting any lighter. Okay. Now is that? That's not in. There we go. Oh, now I was aggressive with my little hammer. 90% of bearing failures are installation. Okay. Just give it a bit of a start. Head start on life. Oh, I just want to play with that. Is that ever nice? Maybe just a few more times. I wish you could all feel this. Okay, some silicone. I'd already opened this, so we'll see if we can save the tip. Or at least just make a complete mess of silicone. Come on. There we go. So hopefully we'll get this guy together. Big hopes, big dreams. Try to get this scraper working. I think it's hard to say how good a condition the wires are in the actual conduit or in the casing. They look, that lead from the generator to this particular motor setup. So we'll leave a little to pull on. So we'll see how, hopefully we can just bolt this on and just even in the interim time test this motor and gearbox with the existing wiring. It looks kind of, the main leads for the motor, the 3-phase lines, because they're so big, I think they'll be fine. The magnet lines and there's limit switches that are right there. They're really rough. They're going to have to be replaced for sure, but hopefully we can get it to go. It would be nice to get to see that. Now, I'm curious, this is the only motor that is 3,600 RPMs, so I bet you it's going to have a huge draw compared to the steering motor, which is only 1,800, and also the apron and the steering motor are both 1,800, and they're all size 1 motors, whatever that means, but that's been on all of their tags. But the scraper motor, it's considerably bigger. It's a number 2, and so we'll see how much draw. But I'd imagine starting and stopping a 3,600 RPM motor is gonna be a big draw on that system. Not that the ejector, I mean, I guess the ejector would have a fair bit of resistance as it tries to push all the clay out if it was some sticky, tough conditions, but yeah, hard to say what kind of amp draw there's going to be on there. Now, this does have one way. Let's just see. There we go. Now, is that gonna... Maybe I need to warm. Maybe I I need to warm up. Maybe I needed to warm this up to get it to slide over that bearing. I got a plan. We'll put that on there. We'll put this on there to protect the seal. And then just give it a quick That's pretty good. Okay, we'll try again. Maybe I should put a bit of... Nope. Here's what we'll do. We'll do this. Okay. That's stiffened up a lot now that it's got the seal on it. But okay, we just got to tighten this guy up now. So we'll get this snugged up and get that silicone wiped up. Okay, so I think we'll see if we can start to put these back together. How does this guy go? Yes. I know it'll all be submerged, but part of me just likes the idea of these bearings having some lubrication during assembly. These ones had the grease in it, and I blew it out just so it wouldn't mix in, but Yeah. Now, just want to do a dry fit before I get the silicone and see how easily it goes together. Oh, look at that. There it is. Okay. Well, I should have just had the silicone on there. Well, that's promising. Well, we can do that again. Okay. But there was one fella who talked about, I went online and you can just get little 3-phase bridge rectifiers, and they're fairly inexpensive. Look at that. Just like that. Now, perfect. This guy. Is he one of them? Yes. Okay, we got this case snugged up. There's still there's 2 more bolts that go through, but they actually sandwich this part of the case, this part of the case, and bolt to the frame of the machine. So we won't put those guys in just yet, but there it is. It sounds pretty noisy, but of course there's no oil in it yet. But yeah, it feels good.